Hey, it's Jesse from the Biggest Guys Locker Room. You guys ever thought about starting your own podcast? Whether it be for business, personal, or simply talking about the things you love? Well, I can honestly say when we started our podcast, it was the best decision and it's the most fun we've ever had. But starting a new podcast can be overwhelming at times. And that's where Buzzsprout comes in. Buzzsprout is the best way to start your own professional podcast. They're so good, they've already helped out over 100,000 podcasters get their message out to the world. Buzzsprout offers you so many tools, like a great-looking podcast website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, and tools to promote your episodes, and more and more and more. Buzzsprout even gets your show listed on every major podcast platform, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. They provide so many tools to help you get started with tutorials on YouTube, podcast tutorials, everything you may need to get your journey started. So if you're looking to start your professional podcast today, follow the link in the show notes. This lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you and help support our show. Buzzsprout, the easiest way to start a podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Biggest Guys Locker Room. I am once again joined by my friend Nikki B is in the house. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Another wonderful day here in Las Vegas. The weather's finally good, and just enjoying life.
Yep. Super Bowl week is a wrap. We've got a lot to talk about. I know I'm personally devastated. Anybody who knows who I'm a big Niners fan, so Nikki B did listen to me rant during that whole game, bitching and moaning.
I just want you to know I was 5-1 on predictions.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. Stop it. Anyway,
I needed a whole overtime to get there. But
oh, my God. Ugh, that overtime. Just, I'm not going to sleep well with that overtime. That's going to be another nightmare.
Well, you know what the problem is? The problem was, like, and I'll just have to say it. The problem is we have a crappy rule now.
Yeah.
We have a crappy rule. We have, first of all, I think I was one of like 100 million Americans that didn't know the rule changed.
Oh, exactly.
I believe I was talking to you personally, and I texted you, and I first said to you, it's like, no, the rule didn't change. I don't remember anything like that. I had to Google that, and I'm like, oh, crap, Jesse, the rule, they both get the ball.
Yeah. And it was funny because we were sitting there watching it, and my dad goes, wait a minute, so both of them get the ball? I'm like, no, fuck it, if they get a touchdown, it's over. And that's when I text you, go, wait a minute, did the rules change? I was like, when did this happen? Oh, yeah.
And then immediately after we actually came to the conclusion that the rules did change, then we immediately went to, why are the Niners taking the ball?
Yep, exactly.
And, man, I know you've been avoiding sports the whole week, so I'm sure you have not watched any NFL films.
Yep.
So I'm just going to say it doesn't really shed in a good light what your coach Kyle Shanahan and his knowledge of the rules. So he, I think, knew the rules.
Okay.
Why the hell he took the ball anyway is beyond me. His team absolutely did not know the rules. And they must have never practiced it because you got your fullback, Kyle, and I can't pronounce his last name to save his life. You got Kyle right there, and he's from Harvard. Mm-hmm. And he just looks at the team, and he's like, do you know that even if we score a touchdown, Kansas City gets the ball back? Like, you could tell the confusion on the sideline over there.
Yeah, because Kansas City was shocked at that, too, because you see the face. They were like, wait, what? You guys want the ball? Okay. That gives us control of the game.
Kansas City thought it was a Christmas gift.
Yeah, and they took full advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because you said I've been avoiding sports. I have been. It was so funny because, the Knights played on Monday, and I'm a huge Knights fan.
Absolutely.
I didn't even want to watch that because I was afraid they would talk about the Super Bowl.
Come on, man.
That is how bad. I did not want to hear about it. I did not even watch the Knights game because I was like, I don't even want to hear if they talk about the game yesterday. Because, of course, it was in town, and I was like, no, I don't even want to hear a word about the Super Bowl. I'm not ready.
It's so weird. In the casino, it was, I don't know about the Rango, but in the casino at Santa Fe, it was completely 70-30, 75-25 Niner fans to everything else.
Yes.
The money did not go that way.
Yeah, it was the same. No, it was the same. It was mostly all Niner fans in the house, and yeah, it was not a happy time.
So
there was a lot of drinking involved.
Oh, absolutely. So what do you think was the key plays other than the debacle in overtime and the coin toss? And we'll never forgive Shanahan for that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, because as soon as it happened, I had nothing but flashbacks. Was the punt when we talked about it last week? Remember, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, that one hurt.
I saw that and I went, no, not again, not again, not this again.
That one hurt.
Oh, just that muff punt, and it wasn't the punt returner's fault. The guy blocked. He's trying to tell him get out of the way. It goes off his foot. He's got no choice, but he just needs to fall on the ball. Why is he trying to pick it up?
Try to get cute.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, yeah, first I was wondering why the hell he fielded it in the first place. Then they showed the slow motion. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. It went off the guy's leg. No wonder he tried to field the punt.
I'm not a fan of trying to field the punt once that ball is bouncing.
Yeah. No, you just got to fall on it at that point. Lick the wounds. It's over.
It's 10-6. You got the lead. Momentum changes right there. Kansas City, one play later, scores the touchdown.
Yep. It's a whole brand new ball. And I believe you said it too when we talked. We talked at halftime. We should have been up like 20-something points.
I'd say it should have easily been 20-3.
Yeah. Easily. I mean, we did not capitalize on touchdowns whatsoever.
Dude, the first half dominated the line of scrimmage and I just don't I really can't explain watching that first half and the score only being 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like in my heart that the Niners should have been up 20-3.
No, I agree. And then I was like, we're not scoring enough. Because it's Mahomes. It is still Patrick Mahomes. He's still a great quarterback. I mean, there's no doubting that. Other feelings involved, of course. There's so much holding going on. I'm not going to bring that, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. You know he's going to make something happen. And having a 7-point lead at half and dominating like they did in the first half, I was like, that's just not enough. That's not enough. There's no way we're going to get there if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, but that goes back to my other point in the third quarter. Why are we not running the ball?
No. Yeah. Throwing the.
Okay, you just said it right there. The other team has Patrick Mahomes. You know you got to either do one or two things. Never give him the ball.
Yep.
Or get a big lead. Well, you already screwed up. They can't get the big lead, but you're still dominating the line.
That is how the Raiders beat them. When that Christmas Day game, they controlled the ball.
Oh, yeah, Pierce was never going to allow.
No, Pierce was smart. He didn't throw a single pass in that second half. He was like, no, fuck you. I'm running the ball. I don't care. You can stop me every time, but I'm going to run the ball, and I'm going to drain the clock. I'm going to use the clock because I already know it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm just going to use every second I can and hope to get first downs. I
mean, look at these calls. Shock was third quarter. After the interception, by the way. So that also – after the interception, Mahomes throws a terrible pass to start off that third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get – let's call it 15 yards because Moody, he's not that consistent.
No.
You got to get 15 yards.
Yeah.
You kick the field goal, you're up 13-3, you're back up 2 scores.
Yeah.
Shotgun pass, penalty, shotgun pass, punt the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we didn't pass. I mean, Purdy didn't play bad. Purdy actually was pretty good. Listen, the defense has played solid the whole playoffs. I mean, they've been that way against, I think superior quarterbacks in like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So for Purdy to play like he did, I thought he played pretty well. I don't think he lost the game for us.
No, this is not a Jimmy G situation where he lost his mind second half.
No, yeah, he wasn't. And there was, what was that one where Ayuk would have been wide open in the end zone had he kept running and he stopped?
There was a play where Ayuk was open in the end zone.
Oh, that was that one where he
was open in the end zone, but the problem was
Chris Jones got in.
Was getting killed at that time. We never saw him.
No, never saw him. He didn't have time to really step into that throw. But there was, I believe there was, I don't know if it was the first half or was it the third quarter?
There was another one where Ayuk was open. I can't.
And he stopped because he turns around and kind of stops, never saw the ball was in the air, and he would have been wide because he had the safety beat.
I know, yeah.
It was that seam route.
Hesitated.
Yeah. Yep. But he was open for the touchdown there. But yeah, the one where there was 2 receivers wide open, but the pass rush gets there, and eventually it was going to get there. Chris Jones was not going to be stopped the entire game. You just hope to contain him and keep it limited. But
you know how you stop a good pass rush?
Run the ball.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
I mean, Shanahan completely forgot about that in the third quarter.
And then in the fourth quarter, and then even in OT, he's running the ball to the right side. I'm like, that's your weak side. That's where they have the advantage. Why are you running it that way?
I mean, McCaffrey was easily MVP of the game.
Yep.
It boggles my mind with people like Shanahan and all them. Like, the greatest coach is Bill Belichick, but like even in those early Bill Belichick years, if playing those Colts, he's going to run the ball 40 times, and Manning's not going to get the ball.
Yeah, that's why I love it. I love it when they compare Brady and Mahomes. Like, listen, Brady didn't have to throw the ball 40 times. Brady was like, run the ball. My defense is going to step up.
Not the first decade of
not the first. No. The second decade they did.
When they started changing the rules, Belichick completely flipped the script and made sure that Brady had weapons around him. So
because it is. That first decade they were dominant was a different football game than it is now.
Yes.
Yeah, by far. Because that first Super Bowl one.
Everyone forgets that Brady wasn't Brady yet.
No. And if you had the rules in place that they are now for that first Super Bowl they won against the Rams, there's no way they win that game. Because that's all they did was put the receivers on their ass.
They just, if you remember that Super Bowl, they just mugged the Rams receivers the whole game. The whole game. They were like about missing holding calls.
Oh yeah, that one. That was that was well beyond the 5-yard cushion there. They were just putting them right on their ass. And in today's game, you're not going to get away with that.
Yeah, no, not at all. They would call a penalty on me every time. Man, the Eagles lost the Super Bowl once because freaking one of their guys got near a wide receivers, and that was enough for a holding call.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's.
And don't even bring up the Bengals Super Bowl where they lost.
Let's not bring that one up because
apparently they held every play in the goal line. And they gave the Rams a first down. It felt like they gave the Rams a first down and goal on the one every single time. I'm sure. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit out there, but like if you remember those Super Bowls,
yeah. But yeah, no, it's a different ballgame. But yeah, the first half, you could run the ball, play D. Nowadays, it's hard to play defense. But yeah, I think.
But the Niners were, and they were running the football, and in that third quarter, and I'm focused on the third quarter because the fourth quarter, I felt like they started getting back to them, and all of a sudden they started scoring points again.
Yep.
Go figure. The third quarter, there's no way. Shanahan he outthought himself 2 times. He outthought himself the third quarter, and he outthought himself on the coin toss.
Yep.
And those guys lost on the game.
Yeah. Those decisions there, just those two things just lost the game because we did not run the ball.
Purdy was fine.
Yep.
I thought Purdy played an above average to a good, and you can even call it a great game.
Yeah. No, it was above average game. It was an above average game.
Going against that Spagnola's defense, where the Spagnola's defense is predicated on we're going to kill the quarterback and they're not going to be able to pass it on us. And Purdy was still able to pass it on them.
No.
I thought, well. Yeah. Purdy, because the difference is Purdy was still completing passes with 2 people in his face the second half compared to Jimmy G in the second half was getting no pass rush and overthrowing his receivers by 10 yards.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you there. I agree with it. And that was the big thing going into it. I was like, man, this is completely flip-flop from the first Super Bowl because in the first Super Bowl, the Niners had the defense. The Chiefs had the high-powered offense. And when all of a sudden we had the lead, I was like, just run the ball. And it was pass after pass after pass. Because we were at 20-10 in the fourth quarter and lost the game.
Quarter, and they put the ball in Jimmy G's hands, who was by far the weakest person on that team. Mm-hmm. And any true Niner fan knew it then. The rest of the world caught up to it a few years later, but like any Niner fan knew it then.
Yeah.
That why are we putting the ball in Jimmy G's hands?
Because Jimmy was never after that knee injury. Jimmy was never the same. His throws were in that first year when he was with the Niners, right? In that first half a year, he was throwing dimes all over the field. It almost felt like he had that knee injury, and then he was scared to step into a throw.
I think he was just, he set Nick Foles. He had the 1 year.
That's true. It could be it. Could be it. But
Because he had that 5-game winning streak with the Niners, and he was crowned the new king of San Francisco. And he started playing well. Yeah, I know about the knee injury, which is weird that he had a knee injury because I remember that hit. It was a hit out of bounds, and I don't think he fell to the ground. He did something like tweaked the knee. It looked like he tweaked the knee, and then boom, he's out for the year.
Yeah, he hyperextended and pulled all the fucking ligament. He pulled the what was it, the ACL in there.
Yeah, and then I mean, even watching him then now again, and then listening to all the Niner fans, and now watching him in Las Vegas, he's got happy feet. He overthrows everything. I don't see what they see in him.
No, I don't. Listen, I think he's a smart quarterback. I just don't think he's one of those guys that he's almost trying to think. Who's the one that's doing NBC now? Jason Garrett. That's who I feel like he's like.
Is he smart because he just had a policy violation?
Well, that whole thing that was prescribed. It wasn't like substance abuse like some guys, but that one that came out, it was a prescribed medication while he was rehabbing, but he didn't get approval from somebody, and that's why the suspension came down.
So you don't know what you're putting in your body?
Well, it's prescribed by your team doctor, but the problem is they didn't file it with somebody that had to approve it first.
All right. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, his Raiders' career is now over, but
yeah, his Raiders, but it was over. It was over anyway. There was no way they were bringing him back. Not at that price. He was due to make way too much money. But I do like the Raiders team going into next season, though. I think the Raiders team's I think Pierce is a good coach.
Make a break. I mean, I think the jury's out on Pierce first year that he's gonna be over the team. Not a big fan of who they signed at GM, Tedesco, because he did a wonderful job with the Chargers, especially having all that depth on the Chargers. Who other than Herbert's on that team again?
Yeah.
I don't know the GM.
That team can't draft receivers. That's for fucking sure. They got. Well, Mike Williams is solid, but he can't stay healthy. Keenan Allen's solid, can't stay healthy. And then they're the two highest paid receivers in the league.
So we're going to then take that GM and move him to Las Vegas?
No, yeah, exactly. That makes no sense. Oh, speaking of which, because I know this has been a hot topic, was it Sneed for Kansas City coming off the Super Bowl win? Now, here's my question to you, and this is a curious question. In today's day and age, with the way the game is played now, do you feel like now that the corner is an overpaid position? Because, I mean, you got to think about it now. The great teams, where San Francisco's weak point is the corner. Baltimore's weak point is the corner.
Yes and no.
Yeah?
It depends what your team is made up with. Because if you can get to the quarterback, you don't need corners.
No, here's my question. Here, that's a great question. Would you rather pay a corner or an edge rusher?
Edge rusher. Exactly. I want to dominate the line of scrimmage. Look, I mean, in the end, they had Chris Jones.
Yeah.
So they can dominate the line. I mean, Sneed was luxury. Now, the thing is, we don't know how long Chris Jones is going to stay on Kansas City.
Exactly. He's going to want to get paid, too.
Well, he's made it very clear he wants to get paid.
Well, so did Sneed. Did you hear the thing that Sneed came out with on the what's her name? Adam's show, where she was like, well, okay, what do you have to say to the Chiefs about this upcoming contract? And he said, pay me. And I'm like, ooh.
Every player is going to say that.
But Sneed had a terrible Super Bowl. I mean, he didn't play exceptionally well in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he had an awesome regular season.
Yeah.
You can't you can't judge it by one game on any aspect. I got to see multiple games, but you can't because he had a bad Super Bowl not pay him.
But you know how that works. You know, it's always what you've done for me lately. That's the league. What have you done for me now?
Well, then you know what? Then you can be. You know what you can do then? Then you can blow up your entire plan and you can beat the New York Giants. I told you. I know that I wasn't going to talk about that. But the plan was to rebuild the damn team after 3 years. Mm-hmm. Then the flukest of all fluke seasons, they backdoor the damn playoffs. 9-7-1. At no point, and I had to hear jokes from you still. Even when the Giants made the playoffs, I had to hear jokes from all of you. Reminding me that the Giants are a bad team. Me being a New York homer nut, I put my blinders on. I'm like, they made the playoffs and won a playoff game. I think they're good. Maybe they take a slight step back. No, they were crappy 2 years ago, and they're on a very weak NFC. And they were crappy, and they were crappy last year. And that's the real team.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
think
if you want to overreact because you had playoffs, or you want to overreact because the guy has one bad game, and yes, 123 million people saw that the guy had one bad game, then overreact. Then you could be the New York Giants and the New York Jets.
But that's what I'm saying is because you have Chris Jones wanting to get paid and you have Sneed to get paid, you got to go with Chris Jones, right?
With that one, I'm picking Jones over Sneed.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to get Jones paid and be like, yeah, we'll find another young corner.
Just finding, you got to find a young corner in the draft.
Because they still have McDuffie there. McDuffie's a good solid corner. He's just not. He doesn't play the same game Sneed plays. Because Sneed's more that up in your face, jam the receiver, get you off your route kind of guy. And McDuffie's that I'm in a coverage corner kind of Deion Sanders role where I'm going to be all over you, but I'm not that jam you at the line guy. Because Deion was never that jam you at the line guy. He was always that I'm gonna be all over your ass kind of shadow guy. So.
I mean, look, in the end, you want to go after the quarterback. If you can disrupt the quarterback, your linebackers, your corners don't have to be first-round picks, second-round picks. You got to cause chaos on the line of scrimmage.
And that's my another point, because like McDuffie with Sneed, McDuffie is the one they always designated to pass rush when they did a blitz with Spagnuolo, because he was a good blitzer at corner. He disguised it very well. He was very good at it. I think he's more valuable than Sneed is. I think you got to.
Here's the thing: I'm not going to question what the Chiefs are going to do, because they let Tyreek Hill go,
and everybody gave a shit for that one.
Is number 1 or 2 wide receiver in the league. I mean, he making Tua look like a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's not like Tyreek Hill is bad, and they let them go to make sure Mahomes was paid, and they've won 2 Super Bowls since then.
Yeah. Do you think they three-peat? Nobody's done it. Nobody's done it.
They got Mahomes. Yeah. Right now, as the way that team is constituted right now, they'd repeat. I think they'll be the first.
I think they got to keep Taylor Swift around. She makes Roger Goodell a lot of money.
I sent something to a Bears fan. She's part of my management staff. I sent something to a Bears fan, and I sent it like this: that Taylor Swift has won and seen more Super Bowls than you have.
Oh, that's cold, man. That's so cold. That's what the Bears need to hope for. They need to hope for like a Travis Kelce Taylor Swift breakup. And like, hey, you need to go get Cole Kmet in that thing. Like, hey, Cole, you need to call her. They can't deny us. They can't deny us if we got Taylor Swift on our side.
If that would happen and the Bears would win the Super Bowl, I'm committed that I'm going to reverse my position and say the NFL's rigged.
Yeah, yeah. If
the NFL's not rigged,
absolutely. If that was to ever happen, I'd be like, yeah, we're fucking done here. I would solely just focus on hockey.
The sleeper team will be the Packers.
I like the Packers, man. That team looks good, man. I don't know why Aaron Rodgers wanted out of there. They finally fulfilled and gave him a bunch of weapons, and he left.
The sleepers, they have a bunch of weapons. Jordan Love, a third franchise quarterback in a row.
Hey, those guys are they're like Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh does great at like drafting receivers. Green Bay does great at drafting quarterbacks. I just don't know how that works, man. It's odd.
When you bring up Pittsburgh, it's weird, and I hope Jimmy's not listening to this. If you bring up Pittsburgh, it's weird. They draft awesome wide receivers, but they always find the divas.
Yes, they do.
It's like Pittsburgh to the world, to the United States. It's this wholesome stability team, and when you really deep dive the last like 5 or 6 years, there's drama everywhere with that team.
Oh, that team's got more drama.
They wanted to burn Canada to the ground.
Every like skill position player, like take Le'Veon Bell. He was a big giant diva. I mean, they find them divas. They do find the divas. You're right on that one. They're talented, but they're divas.
And Pickens, go ahead and we're screw the touchdown. I'm not going to block. Got to protect myself.
So that being said, okay, we know you don't agree with the Super Bowl rules, but all right, I got to ask you, who is your Super Bowl pick for next year? Give me one team from each conference. Give me one team from each conference.
Well, look, how do you not, look, the Chiefs sucked this year. Let's be honest here. Their offense was terrible. They won the Super Bowl. I'll never bet against Mahomes now. He's just, he is the best quarterback. He's going to go down as the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Right now, I think that's Peyton Manning, but the way Mahomes is going, he's going to go down the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. NFC. You know what? Packers.
Okay.
Because the one thing that they were their greatest weakness was their defense and their kicker.
All right.
Well, I love the article hey, what happens when your kicker always comes out and the coach and Florico says, I just pray. Oh. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a great strategy right there.
You know he's not on the team next year. And it's so bad because you're like, he's out there when he's skating going, I wish I had your brother. He's like, I need to sign your brother. Can we trade brothers? Just give me his older brother. His older brother's way better.
Absolutely. I'll go with Packers. Niners are going to start having turmoil. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. They'll probably go 13-4 and lose in the first round.
See, I think I'm going to go with Baltimore next season. I think now that with everything that will happen this season, I think Lamar Jackson is going to be on a mission. And listen, for everything, Lamar Jackson to me, ever since he gave the Heisman speech, I have not been a Lamar Jackson fan. But I'll tell you what, he's probably been he's been a huge hard worker. I mean, he has improved his game so much. I think he's finally going to get over that hump. I gotta go with my Niners for one last year because I think after the next year, I think the salary cap just kind of destroys that team. Because after next year, the salary cap gets to be too much, and they're going to have to make decisions, and they're just not going to be as good. So I think they got one more year at this run.
The Niners have to do it next year. Yeah. This is their year. The issue is, I think that defense started showing cracks.
Well, let's not even bring up Greenlaw gets pulled, tears his Achilles running onto the field, and that's when all of a sudden Kelsey goes nuts after that.
How did we not bring that up?
I forgot all about it. I wanted to bring it up, and I totally forgot about it.
Because they were dominating. Mahomes wasn't able to do anything. The Chiefs' offense wasn't able to do anything.
Greenlaw shut Kelsey down.
Pure Niner fashion. As remember, I'm a New Jersey, New York nut, so Giant Stadium and the 18 injuries the Niners had.
Yep.
No contact injury, torn Achilles. Did they come out with torn Achilles?
Yeah, he just had surgery. Yeah, he had surgery today.
Torn Achilles. Out for a little bit of next season.
Yeah, because he's not going to make it back. If it's a torn Achilles, you'll be lucky to have him back by the last 4 games of next year, if you're lucky.
It's a 9 to 12 month injury, so 9 puts it in November.
Yeah. I mean, and if he comes back in November, he's probably not 100%.
He might miss the whole next season, and that's one of the high energy. Those crazy nuts in the front seven. You want those high energy. Probably goes a little bit overboard.
Oh, and he does too.
And I think that affected Fred. And it affected 2 people because I think that affected Fred Warner a lot.
It did. Did you see the reaction of Fred Warner when he went down?
Yeah, he was.
He puts his hands on his helmet going, you got to be kidding me. No friggin' way did this just happen.
He slams his helmet down as they're taking to the field, and you could see him on the sideline just.
Like the whole game plan just went out the window.
And they still kind of kept Mahomes in check.
But if you look at it, before the Greenlaw injury, Kelsey had 1 catch, I believe, for 3 yards. And after that, that's where he goes off for 6 catches for 90.
Yep. But you think about, Mahomes is such on a different level. He's on God tier.
Yeah.
That I think he just finds it out anyway. It's just impossible to stop the Chiefs for 4 quarters.
No, that's what I said. Yeah, and that was my point when we had a 7-point lead in the half. I'm like, we should be up 17, and I'd feel a little bit better because that's a big deficit. We could have been even up more than the 17. I thought because we dominated the first half, but to only be up a touchdown, I was like, it's still.
What do they do for load management in San Francisco? I think he's got the freaking flip chop the wrong way because they'll run McCaffrey to death. week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Fourth quarter, up by 28. No, we got to feed McCaffrey 5 more carries.
Yeah.
And now the Super Bowl, we're going to do load management?
Yeah, we're going to do load management on that one. No, and it was funny. It was, well, who did I think I brought it up on last week where it was the key to the game was run McCaffrey into the ground. And when he can't run anymore, put Debo back there and run Debo into the ground.
Yeah.
And you walk, and you guess what you run with? A fucking Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. Now, Debo was getting dinged up pretty bad. He was in and out.
I think that played a huge course. He was not 100%. You could tell it. I know he had a hamstring and a shoulder injury. Ayuk was open on several plays, but like I said, in that second half where he was getting open, it was the pass rush was starting to get there. Yeah, like you weren't going to stop that defensive line for the whole game. There was no way. And so there was a lot of missed opportunities. We talked about that. But yeah, I think the Greenlaw injury was huge.
Here's another question. Where was Kittle?
Oh, they just didn't run him. I didn't know what they were. I was like, get Kittle the ball. God. And when they finally did, big plays started happening, but they didn't do it enough. When you were throwing the ball, why was Kittle never involved? Kittle
got small real quick. He was hurting too. He went out in the overtime, right, or the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
with a shoulder injury.
Well, he had that. I know he had a foot injury too that he was been plagued with throughout the whole playoff. So I know that was a huge thing. But he wasn't going to miss that game. George Kittle's a gamer.
Yeah, he didn't know he can't get good, but he was ineffective, and I think the Chiefs knew it going into the second half.
Yeah, that he wasn't he wasn't good. He wasn't the same guy. No, I agree with you there.
But yeah, I think the Niners, the issue is going to be who they're going to have coaching that defense. Is he gonna get along with Shanahan? You obviously saw going into the playoffs, everyone knows why I picked the Chiefs because I thought that defense was suspect. Now go figure. So I got all my predictions right. I couldn't have called the game any worse. I feel like I backdoored into everything.
Yeah, it was a rough Super Bowl.
I mean, the Niners was the one first half playing ball control, and the Niners were controlling the line of scrimmage, went off the script and all that. I don't think that defense is going to play like they did in that regular season. I think the Packers are on their way up. Yeah. The Niners, I think, take a very slight step back. Now, a slight step back in the NFC still means they're probably the number one seed because the NFC is just garbage after the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, that was my whole theory was I get it. I think the defense takes a step back. But with Purdy only being, he's only played a year and a half of football. I think he gets a little bit better.
But your coach will just go away from the game plan.
Let's not talk about Shanahan. That's a soft spot, man. And you know how I feel about Shanahan because he's blown every friggin' big game he's been in.
You know me. I'll point the finger in a heartbeat in these sports things. I like sports drama. I don't see. Yeah, I know he only played a year and a half. Purdy won that game. Yeah. Purdy didn't do anything to lose that game.
Nope.
So I don't know how much better Purdy's going to be because I thought Purdy played a pretty damn good game. Yeah, the only way you get to excellent category is the Patrick Mahomes category, which is like you go on God mode.
Yeah.
So, Purdy didn't have God mode in it. It was the way the 49ers are set up. He's not supposed to have God mode in them.
But does he?
Just, what?
Could he get there? Do you think he could get there?
Good question. Yes. Yes, because then I'll play into a year and a half. Purdy's only played a year and a half.
And he did not seem frazzled by any situation. Even when they went down, when Kansas City took the lead, he did not seem frazzled by that. He was like, okay, time to go to work.
Well, I was reading some scouting reports with one of my team members, and basically, Purdy should have been rated as a second or third round cornerback. Now you're going back on hindsight because everything was given about Purdy was his agility. He can't run. Well, I watched the Detroit Lions game. Seemed like he could run pretty fine to me.
He ran, and it was interesting that all of a sudden he didn't run in the Super Bowl because Purdy didn't run. I'm like, they were spying him.
They literally had a spy.
They had a spy on him, like he was Lamar Jackson or something like that. I'm like, oh my God.
And Nance and Tony Romo called that out in the game. It's like, I can't believe they're putting a spy on Purdy. But you can believe it because what happened in that Lions game? He freaking torn him up with his legs.
I'm glad you brought up the whole Tony Romo thing. So, the greatest bet now, whenever CBS has a Super Bowl, and it's Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, bet there be no score in the first quarter. It's happened in two straight. It's happened in 2 straight Super Bowls that they've covered.
Oh my God, you're right.
Bet that is there be no scoring in the first quarter because Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, for some reason, every time they cover a Super Bowl, there's never been a score in the first quarter.
Yeah, that can be a Nevada game in.
You know that's got to be a prop bet somewhere. Damn it!
I'm going to talk to the higher ups about that one.
Oh man! But anyways, all right. So side note, okay, we've talked about the Super Bowl. We've talked about our Super Bowl picks. Just a quick note, me and you both play fantasy football together. We are in a dynasty league together. Have you looked at any of the prospects and draft picks coming out, and have you started to evaluate what your team looks like?
After being in 6 leagues and playing for 18 weeks, and then the craziness at work, I told myself I was not going to do anything till March.
Well, remember, we got the draft coming up right after we got the draft the rookie draft coming up after the NFL draft.
If I start March the 1st, since the draft is at April 24th, I think I'll be fine.
I know. You got what? You got the 6th pick in our league?
I don't know because I traded picks like crazy. So I have Sean's pick.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you got the last pick in the first round.
I have Sean's pick.
No. Sean won the other league. I forget. Yeah,
Sean won the league,
but he was up there pretty high. I know he had made a major comeback in that dynasty league with H-Am.
I'm picking 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. Gorzy got your first round pick, so he's picking 1 and 6.
Sean doesn't have a pick in the first round, if I'm correct.
No, yeah, that's right.
Sean, great job, dude. By the way, Sean, great job. You gave me a pick where I was dead in the water, and you still didn't amount to anything.
No. Oh man!
And I know he listens to this podcast, so I'm going to get some crap from him.
You know what? I'm going to call him. I'm going to try to get him on next week to talk some fantasy sports. But I know you're a big sports fan. How much are you following hockey?
But you also know hockey is like my least favorite sport.
Yeah,
I can't say because I'm in Las Vegas, so now I got to keep my mouth shut.
I know. You were like you knew like the Rangers stuff, but you don't know much about the hockey stuff.
Look, you got 2 goalies in New York. Breaking down, you got 2 goalies. You got Jonathan Quick, and you got Igor.
Yep.
On the Rangers.
Yeah, you got Shesterkin.
So the Rangers, when those 2 guys are going, the Rangers are the best team in hockey. Give us a Stanley Cup. This is our year. Problem is, Rangers, especially the Rangers, they like to take games off.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't keep letting like the Canadians the other day, you can't keep letting the Canadians shoot the puck dead.
Yeah.
With no defense.
But no. All right.
The goalie, that's a problem.
I'm going to call you out on the show right now. I'm going to call you out because I am doing fantasy hockey next year. Are you in?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Because we're not doing anything. We're going to do like dollar transactions, nothing major. It's like, and we're going to do like $50 buy-in, dollar transaction, and winner takes all.
Oh, great. I'm going to be stuck like $200 in this thing. If anybody knows me and my transactions.
But the best thing about it is it's so hilarious because the best time I had with it was I got Lee into it last year. We didn't do it this year because, opening the new property, everybody was too busy. Right. To listen to the guys try to pronounce names was hysterical. You got William Nylander out there, and Lee's got him on his team. He goes, "Come on, Nylander, come on." I'm like, "It's Nylander, bro." And he goes,
Don't tell me we tried to do a live draft.
Oh, we totally did, dude. We totally did. We did a live draft. It was hilarious.
So I'm looking at go back to our Dynasty League. I'm looking at there. Obviously, we knew this from week 1. I had a little work on the running back position. Then nothing has changed.
No.
But wide receiver, I'm set. I got St. Brown. I got Debo. Even if Debo gets hurt. Eventually, they're going to have a quarterback in Atlanta. So I got Drake London. I got Downs from Indianapolis. So I got a deep four there. Justin Fields is either going to have a real team in Chicago or he'll be traded to a real team. Komet. I got a decent team. Running back, I need some work. I feel like I got Pacheco. He's good.
Yeah, that's true.
I got Mixon. He's not as good.
You loved Mixon this past year, man. I think you drafted Mixon in every league we were in together.
I was looking for volume. He's the same RB2 volume, and then everything in Cincinnati went to hell, and then there was no volume anymore. Because Mixon, up till this year, Mixon, even when he has those bad games, he's always volume. He's going to get you 20, 25 carries a game. Yes, there could be a stat where it's 25 carries a game and 50 yards, but like eventually he's going to get there. And RB2, you're trying to get it where just get me 10 points, 15 points, somewhere around there. You're not looking for the kill shot. Where Pacheco, I was hoping to get the big kill shot, but then the Kansas City. Of all years, I started getting Kansas City people on my freaking fantasy football team. That's when the offense decided to freaking suck.
You got Rashee Rice?
No.
I think
Pacheco. I got Pacheco. I actually picked up McCarron first, and then I traded with I want to say Kevin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We got Pacheco.
Mm-hmm. I think Pacheco's going to be a good hold. I think that's going to be a good one for the next couple of years. The hard part is with the running backs now, and the situation with the running backs is just so bare. I mean, rookie running backs aren't doing much because they're not getting enough carries because everything's a committee now.
Well, I got running backs on my team. It's just going to depend. Like, is Hubbard, what's his role going to look like? If he's even going to be on the team? A.J. Dillon, I think I just every time I started him, he got 2 points. Every time
if you notice, A.J. Dillon didn't really even play he didn't play late in that season.
Well, Aaron Jones is the better running back. I thought it'd be twofold, but when Jordan Love just took on fire,
even when they brought in like a backup, it was always, I forget who it was. It was the other guy. It wasn't even AJ Dillon.
Well, I know I didn't play him because I was playing Pacheco and Mixon like crazy, and then I would sneak in Hubbard. Oh, I got Swift on my team. I forgot all about him.
He's a free agent too. Yeah, you got to see where he lands.
And the Eagles, and it's just the Eagles never used them half the time. Though their greatest strength was running the football, so they would just throw the ball.
Yeah, no, it was great because the first the first 5 games where he was like lights out, he was doing great because he was getting the ball, and then they went away from it. I was like, whoa, what happened here?
I just want you to know, in that Swift deal, I got Sean's pick and Swift on that deal.
That's pretty good. Who'd you give up?
And I guarantee you, I don't know and I guarantee Sean doesn't know because I think they only played like 2 games and got hurt.
That's hilarious.
Actually, the trades, other than the Mixon trade, was pretty bad. But other than that, and I was with actually, it wasn't too bad because I was with Gorsey. I think that's the one with Gorsey.
Oh yeah.
And I got Mixon, and it was bad up to when Herbert got hurt. And then when Herbert got hurt, Gorsey's team went to hell.
And if you notice, if you looked at Gorsey's team, I think half his team was on IR at the end of the year.
Well, I did poke fun at Gorsey when I saw he was going with the Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna go try to win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm 4th place, man.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna be good. I know a lot of guys asked me to do a weekly league next year, where we have a small a budget where we pick our teams. I don't know. You in on that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it. You can't. You're in, baby.
That was the silly.
Kevin did the same thing. I said, "Hey, we might do a weekly league." I'm in. I was like, "You didn't even tell me what the terms are." He goes, "I don't care. I'm in."
Yeah,
he said, "Just let me know how much."
That's the thing. I start saving up now.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. I start putting away for my fantasy sports budget right now. So yeah, we'll get that one going next week. That'll make fun material for the show. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, I am going to try in Lens League. I am going to try to limit a little bit more of the transactions because that's 2 years in a row. I finished in 9th and 8th. 8 gets you in the playoffs, and I finish right there in number 9.
The hardest part about Lens League is we're doing a 12-team league, and there's not much that we have such a long bench. There's not a whole lot to grab out there anymore. That's the hard part.
I don't know. I found everybody that landed on the IR. I mean, let's just go through it.
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, you did find everybody that one. Yeah.
Eckler, freaking.
And that's what killed me.
Dobbins, week 1, core ATL.
Yeah, week 1. I know I had him a few leagues too. I'll tell you what, though. I had the most dominant team going into that playoffs, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, 2 of my starting receivers are hurt. I got a starting running back hurt. I'm screwed. and I had Hurts as my quarterback, and that was on their downslide where they were playing like garbage, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm so done.
I got bailed out because Kevin. I got bailed out so much. So my highlight on that Lens League is only week 14 because every other week sucked for me. Week 14, Kevin runs his mouth. I want a dinner at Santa Fe and a dinner at Durango, and I said you're on. And because I can get out of the dinner at Durango. And not only do I get out of dinner at Durango, but I get high score right at the end. I haven't accomplished a goddamn thing all season. High score limits the damage right there at the end. So I'm like, great. I got my team playing well by week 14. What's my record? 5-9. Oh,
no. It was so funny because everybody's like, how much you owe in Lindsley? You didn't make the money. I'm like, oh, nothing. We had like 6 high scores, so we actually made money.
Yeah, you kicked ass.
Oh, I was.
You were in the money. You were in the money
like week 8.
You were in the money by week 8.
Yeah, I was in the money week 8, and I was like, yeah, I got this. Oh, it's too good. But all right, man. Hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We've been talking for a minute, so I appreciate you joining the show, brother.
Yeah, anytime, man.
So, all right, guys. So, hey, thanks for joining the show, Nikki B, and we'll talk to you guys next week. We'll go over some fantasy football, and we'll go over some hockey news going on. All right? All right, guys. Everybody have a great one. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time on the Vegas Guys Locker Room.